Yeah, driving. We're back.
Here we are.
Sun's out.
It is right on my face. Quite like it.
I quite like it too. Welcome back to Suits and Tracksuits, Series 2, Episode 4. Yeah? Didn't get it right. Didn't get it wrong. See? I got it wrong, but I got it right. It's all good. Welcome back. How you doing, Jav?
All good, thanks, Dex. How are you?
Yeah? All good, thanks. You look good?
Thank you. I thought I'd make a bit of an effort. It's a special jacket. This is a special occasion jacket. Suits and Tracksuits is a special occasion.
Special occasion.
So here we are.
That is great.
I missed the tracksuit though, I'll be honest.
Do ya? I'm not going to lie. I would say I missed the suit, but my belly was popping out of the button sometimes, you know what I mean? It's a bit uncomfortable sometimes, so I'm back in my comfortability, yeah? I've got my Mula Tech tracksuit on, yeah, not Nike Tech, Mula Tech. Got my Mula Tech tracksuit on, my matching orange hat. I'm caked off. I'm caked all the way from head to toe, so I feel happy. I feel as good as you look.
That's great.
So, yeah, what's been happening anyway? What's been happening since the last episode? What's been happening in your life? What's been happening in general?
Yeah, it's a crazy world right now in the sense of things opening up back in the UK for us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunities in the world. Like crypto's going crazy, shares are going crazy. Actually, stock market's up and down.
Yeah, it's up and down actually. Yeah.
House prices, there's a big bubble because there's people with various loans out there and stamp duty holiday. So investments-wise, there's so much going on. So yeah,
so much going on, and it's that just leads me straight into my point of investments and stuff. You know, I spent half of this year. I call it the first quarter. I've spent half of this year or the first quarter just investing. And it's not like, just investing loads of money, throwing me money and stuff. No, it's lots of opportunities have arisen. And I'm putting, a couple £100 there, I'm putting a couple quid there, I'm putting a couple pennies there, because, I advocate multiple streams of income. So I've been having I won't say a field day, because nothing's turned around and turned me into a millionaire yet, you know what I mean? But I've been having a field day taking risks. I'm a risk taker, Jav. I'll be open and honest. And this is why sometimes I think it I won't say it boils my blood. I used to, but I've learned people's way of life, people's opinions, it doesn't mean anything to me in terms of when they keep saying there's no opportunities, and I think, oh, there's so much opportunities. But now I don't get mad like that. I'll be like, is it? That's crazy, because I feel like there's a lot of opportunities. I try and word it a little bit different. I'm trying, Joe. I'm trying to change the way I am. You know what I mean? Best version of myself. That's what I'm trying.
Brilliant. Yeah, everyone has a different perspective, right? There's some people who walk into situation and will be looking for the problems.
Yeah.
There's others who will walk in and will be looking for solutions. And I think it comes back to something we mentioned very, very early on, is around the open and closed mindset.
Yeah.
And I think what I've had to do is appreciate that not everyone's the same. And whilst you want the best for everyone around you, not everyone may get what you're trying to say. And I always put my intentions clear, like, look, I'd love to see you be happy and successful and do whatever you think is the right thing for you in your life. Here's things which have worked for me, and if they work for you, great. So I take that approach as well, like, hey, look, take it, leave it.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way,
Just,
Jav. I used to try and drum it into my friends and family. I used to try and drag them with me. I used to even offer them money. I used to offer to pay them to learn with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I know this is the way forward. In terms of, let me give you some examples. So I've always had foresight. And it's one of the quotes that I say, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I made it up. I stole it from a good pal, Chris Cyrus. I adapted.
There you go.
Yeah? I adapted to the same language as my good pal, Chris Cyrus. Yeah? I heard him once say, and I think he's allowed me to run with it because he doesn't say it anymore, but I say it all the time because it's serious. Everybody has sight because everybody has eyes, but not everybody has vision. And it's a big thing to me because I've realized, I've got serious vision from a young age, and I was wanting to do music and entertainment. So I've even categorized my life now. So listen, this is for you guys. Dexter 1.0. That was music and entertainment. I was trying to teach the world. I was trying to teach my friends and family. We can be the industry in the streets. Do you know what I mean? We can have our own music industry out here. We can shoot our own music videos. We can shoot our own songs. We can provide our own studio time, do our own artwork, photo shoots, etc. And I was saying this before HD. So when I had little Sony camera and HD wasn't out, I was explaining this to people. You know, I was trying to create DVDs, Blue 60 Seconds of Fame. This was before like all these DVDs came out, Risky Roads, Streets Incarcerated, you know, all of these stuff. But again, it was me having vision, not realizing that everybody doesn't have vision. So I was wasting a lot of my time and energy trying to convince everyone we should be independent musicians. But because they didn't have iTunes and YouTube, they couldn't see it. So now, 17 years later, everybody's an independent artist. Do you know what I mean? And then when I moved on to Dexter Sims 2.0, which is business and charity. So I was trying to explain to everyone that you should be independent. Like you should, well, the same kind of concept, you should be independent, but you can start your own business. You can start your own company. It doesn't have to be a massive company. Everyone thinks when you say business, you're thinking multi-million-pound business. Everyone thinks when you say, you know, trying something, they mean trying something spectacular. No, you can be independent. You can start your own business. You can start with drips of income, and then it can turn to a little bit of more income. Do you know what I mean? And then I used to say to people about having a registered charity because, you know, giving back is an important part of my whole structure, my whole makeup.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, the whole makeup of Moolah Cake is giving back to the less fortunate and the underdeprived, you know, all the reasons too, but mainly just from my heart. I like seeing other people happy when I know I could have had an effect on making them happy. So I've done that. And again, I spend lots of time, lots of energy, lots of effort trying to convince everyone. Start your own business. All right, then cool. Start a charity. Start a CIC. And then again, there was lots. That's where probably all this grey hair come from. I'm starting to think this is why Jarvis looks the way he does. And this is the reason why I look the way I do. I don't get enough rest. I think I need to rest a little bit more. Listen, straight up and down. Dexter Sims 3.0, cryptocurrency, stocks and shares, and assets and incomes. I ain't sharing. I'm just telling you that. I'm sharing, but I ain't convincing. Yeah, one of my mentors once told me, stop trying to convince the unconvincible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a good protection of your energy as well.
It's a good protection of my energy. I didn't know that. I was trying to convince people who never will be convinced. But I was just determined because I think, it's common sense. Can't you understand? Can't you see? No, they can't.
Common sense isn't that common.
That's not that common. So, you know, being on this new journey, Dexter Sims 3.0, I'm fascinated with the opportunities that's arising right now. Literally fascinated with the opportunities that's arising right now. I don't mind losing it all. I'll be honest. I don't mind losing it all, Jav. I'll lose it all. As long as I don't lose my drive, my passion, my hunger, I'll make it all back.
Yeah.
No problem. You know, I'll close Moolah Cake today. I'll close all my companies I own today. And I tell you now, I wouldn't mind starting over. I'm very comfortable with my ambition, my drive, my know-how, and how much I know I will be committed to it. Sacrifice. I'm very confident in myself. So that's why I don't mind losing it all. It's not about what I've got now, what I've gained. It's about what I am, who I am. And that's what's made me so strong.
I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there who speak about this, where they've had everything, they've lost everything, and they've rebuilt bigger and better. And I think, you know, lessons of life and these experiences and that fire in your belly, once it's there, like you carry that forward. No one can take away your experience and that drive. That's something that comes from within. And that's something nobody can control. And that foresight bit you mentioned. So I'm going to mention an example for myself, right?
Yeah, please do.
And this is, you know, my past company. I was asked a question, and some of my viewers might laugh, those who know me well, because they know I bring this up with them. But I was asked, like, it was a job going, and I was asked, right, to get to the final stage and to get through it, tell us what you think the future of search engines are. Okay. So I sat there, thought about it. This is in 2011. 2011. This is before Siri, Cortana, any of the Amazon stuff and the Google now.
Echo and all that.
None of that was in the market. It was just search engines. It was mostly Google and other search engines. And I said to the company, I said, well, I feel like there's information overload. People are going to find it difficult to make decisions. I can see voice rising. And therefore, I think phones will have like a personal assistant on there who you can speak to who get you the answers. And essentially what Echo and
Siri is
and all those things, right? And this is before that was out, and they said, that's interesting. I think it's too futuristic. And So you didn't get the job. So I lost the job.
Because you gave them excellent knowledge.
Yeah. And then that same company, 5 years later, released voice search as the biggest innovation in the company. And I said to them, oh, here's my presentation, date stamped. I ain't amended it. Everything I've said is here, which you said was too futuristic.
Why I couldn't get the job.
And I couldn't get the job. And again, it's all good. It's a pass. It's learning, right?
You ain't throwing shots.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a peaceful comment for
He's
foresight.
overcome it.
Exactly. It's all good. We're friends. So it was, for me, it was, okay, I was spot on. When I shared it with a couple of people, they're like, well, you're a genius. I'm like, that's nice. Thanks. I don't want to be a genius. I was just saying that I had good intentions for you, and I foresaw this happening, and it's happened.
Yeah.
So then I just realized that, look, you can't convince the unconvincible. People are in certain positions because they do that bit well. It doesn't mean they know about the future. All right. So that's why I went ahead with my own food app when I predicted a recession and skills gap. And now I'm being called a disruptor and an innovator to watch, sitting on a potentially significantly sized and valued business platform.
Yeah.
To Chef 33.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? It's all good. It's all lessons. But it took that no for me to say, I'm going to say my own yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and do this myself.
Do this yourself.
And so that's where
true.
I think when you say about foresight, again, it's all good. It's all life lessons. Like if you didn't have that lesson, maybe I'd still be stuck somewhere which I wasn't, growing in. So it actually worked out perfectly. I look at everything as a journey and everything with gratitude that I had to go through that to understand it. And you grow and you learn from it and you apply it in your own life.
100%. And that's what, even I like what you said at the end there, which is you learn, you grow from it, and then you apply it to your own life. Do you know what I mean? That's experience is one of my biggest things I have. Learning, studying by myself, away from school, away from curriculums, just studying people, studying trends, studying the past, because I've noticed, because of fashion taught me that things come back around. I didn't know that, I didn't understand it. When flares was out, then flares came back out. Then skinny jeans was out, then skinny jeans come back in. Then baggy jeans, and I think, oh, it really does come back around years later. Trainers, they come out, they come back out. And I think, oh, okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. Then obviously on the flip side, there's new innovations. There's new things that's happening. So I've always learned from the giants. I find it difficult to learn from, and this is where I said, I think it was something like this I said the other day when I said, I find it difficult to learn from normal people. I was thinking, okay, am I normal then? I'm not sure. But you know what I mean? I learn from the giants. I learn from, I'll be open. I ain't got nothing to hide. My business structure, Moolah Cake, is structured like Virgin. That's the only company I wanted it to be like.
Well,
Do you know what I mean? I didn't want it to be like, and I won't name no small companies because I'm not putting down no one, but I wanted it to be like the best. I wanted it to be like Richard Branson's company. I didn't say I admire him, I admired his brand. I admired the understanding about learning about brand leverage. Once you own it, then you can control it. So you own your own brand and you leverage it out to get into other sectors. I didn't know a lot about children's holiday clubs. But because I had a successful clothing brand, the parents would trust sending their children to me. Do you get it? Because they know the brand. And that sparked miracles in my head. I was thinking, so I can just start Moolah Cake Ballet just because you don't know Moolah Cake. And that's when I realized how powerful certain brands are. So obviously when you think of Richard Branson, you think of Virgin Planes, Virgin Trains, Virgin Internet, Virgin Phone Lines, Virgin Suits, Virgin all of these stuff. One of the things I studied from early was Virgin Planes are not the best planes. Virgin Internet's not the best internet. Virgin Trains are not the best trains. But as long as he's in the runnings, then he's winning. Because if you then put British Rail against Virgin Company, there's no matchup. If you put British Telecom against Virgin Internet, not Virgin Internet, Virgin Whole, there's no markup. If you put Emirates Planes, which is maybe the better plane, against Virgin as a whole, there's no comparison. So I thought, I get it. The branding thing is serious. Brand perception. And then that's when I started realizing, I'm learning off the big boys. And I learned so much off the big boys. I want to open up a conversation right now about learning off the big boys because I'm studying it right now. I'm studying NFTs, non-fungible tokens. And boy, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing. I've literally had 3.5 hours sleep today. because I was up all last night studying it.
I'm starting to think if Dexter ever sleeps. I'm not even sure if he's got a bed in the house, because every time I speak to him, he's out researching or working or doing something. So I need to make sure he gets some sleep and doesn't overwork himself.
I always study things in my own way. So how it gets explained to me, I think of how it fits into my world, and then I can explain it to other people because of my understanding of it. So when people now ask me what is an NFT, I got an easy way to explain it. I think, all right, then cool. Do you play Xbox? And they're like, yeah, you play Xbox, cool. You play FIFA? Okay, cool. You play Ultimate Team? No, forget what you play. Do you buy Microsoft points? Cool. Microsoft points are virtual currency. That's like cryptocurrency. It's a virtual currency. Then what do you buy with your points? I buy FIFA Ultimate Team packs. So when you buy the pack, you try and get famous players, like Ronaldo's and stuff, innit? So what is the pack? The thing you're buying is an NFT. It's a non-fungible token because you can't pay for it and then take it out of the game. It's in the virtual world. So when people used to ask me, which I didn't used to have the real answer to, which is, how do you spend your real money on a game?
Yeah.
I now get it.
I didn't know that was the case. That's great knowledge for myself as well.
So it's good, and that's how I can explain it to people.
Yeah.
Like, when you buy things virtually, it's often an NFT. It's just that these NFTs that we are now buying in the art world and in the whatever world, they are royalty-based. So now they are intellectual property. So it's gone haywire to where I think, okay, so I've spent £600 this year on FIFA, not this year and not last year or the year before, because I'm done with paying money for FIFA points, yeah? But I spent £600 one year on Microsoft points, and at the end of the year, I get nothing back. I have to buy another game. So I bought £600 worth of NFTs all year and got no good players. I didn't get Ronaldo, I didn't get Messi, you know what I mean? Spent my real cash, and then at the end of the year, I got to buy a new game. Now I've realized with these NFTs that I'm now trying to purchase, so I was trying to purchase my first one last night, at the end of the year, not only do you still own it, it could raise in value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could rise in value. And I think, oh, okay. Then I'm learning about whoever the NFT belongs to has the power to utilize it in any way. Let me explain. So, I don't even know what they're called properly. Sons of Leon, not Sons of Leon. What's this group called? Leon, Son of Leon. Sons of Leon, innit? No, I don't know, the rock group or something. Anyway, they have released their album as an NFT. So this is what this means. There's only a certain amount, so that means you can't get their album because you can't copy an NFT. It's a one thing. So there's only a certain amount. So if you bought their album, you're one of the people who own their album. But what their NFT actually also gives you is a free entry into their concert. So you can't go to their concert unless you have this entry pass. This entry pass is an NFT. There's no more left. Therefore, that NFT is going to be worth more money.
Supply
And demand. It's blown my mind. Mullicate NFT coming soon. Remember, you heard it here first.
Amazing.
It's blown my mind, Jav.
It all comes down to supply and demand, and also hype.
Hype.
Right? Hype's important.
Exclusivity.
People want to jump on the next big thing. If I look at crypto, for example, Doggy Coin, right?
Dogecoin.
They call it Dogecoin, Doggy Coin.
Yeah, either one.
It's got a picture of a dog on it. So
Yeah.
it started as Doggy Coin, then some people say Dogecoin. But that coin was started as a joke.
Yeah, it's still a joke.
It's still a joke.
But people's pushing it to the extreme till it might turn not to a joke.
And that's when you start looking at the power of the public.
The power of the
GameStop
public.
was a shares in some failing US game retailer, which people made thousands on by putting a few £100s in.
Yeah.
And it's being on top of these trends, and it just goes to show the power. So Wall Street and all the stock markets naturally, for years have been running a system a certain way.
And they've been doing it all by themselves, all for themselves.
Yeah, for themselves, by themselves. Now people are clocking on. They're realizing these markets are accessible, whether that's crypto, forex, or whatever.
They're accessible right here on your phone.
Exactly. There's apps you can do it. MetaTrader. There's various apps. I've tried it. It requires time investment to understand charts.
Everything does require time and investment. Thank you.
But it's accessible. You can log on. You can create your account. You can watch. You can trade. GBP and US dollars, for example, and you can trade between the currency fluctuations.
Yes.
And the point is, this wealth is accessible.
It's accessible. Keep saying
yeah.
that word. It's accessible. That means there is what do you call it? There's opportunity out there. Don't tell me there's no opportunity.
And behind us, we've got the City of London. So I don't think we can really see that well. We've got the Shard and all. But further up is Canary Wharf and the Square Mile. And there's trillions valued, trillions are exchanged in that 1 square mile.
Yeah.
And you just think to yourself, what is this? And you think, well, you know what? Historically, we're made to think that bankers are the ones who can only do this. Like, you have to get a banking job and go and do it.
Mindset.
It's like, no, you know what? There is technology which enables me to do this from my home, or even whilst I'm on the move. You can sit in the bathroom if you want.
Beach.
On the beach, you can sit in your car. You can have, sit in the park. You can, your phone can make you money. If we're going to look at it from a money perspective.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I wouldn't say just go and throw money on these things and hope for the best. Like,
please only use the money you can afford to lose.
Absolutely.
Let me say it again. Please only use the money you can afford to lose. End of.
Yeah, because once you're into that system, and I know, we're going to touch on things like multiple streams of income and that sort of thing, but I think it's very important to have discipline. Discipline, patience, and the ability to research. Research doesn't take time. We're in, again, an information-rich society, but a knowledge-poor society. There's so much information around us at our fingertips on our phones. You can research stuff, but once something's hyped up in the news, people are on it. And sometimes that's too late.
Yeah,
because
once it's in the public eye, it's already missed it.
Because then the masses of it, it's those early adopters, and that's where I'd say, become an early adopter. Get onto forums, start researching things. If it's shares, go into share forums. There's a bunch of resource out there, whether that's IG trading, like I use IG for example for share trade. There's articles, there's relevant news coming out. For crypto, there's crypto forums. Understand.
Do you know why Warren Buffett's one of the richest men in the world? Because he reads so much. Yeah. No, that's it. There's no special nothing.
Yeah.
He reads so much knowledge, he understands what's going to happen or thinks what's going to happen, and then he invests in it, in the share market. That's how he's rich.
Yeah.
Because I have so much knowledge. So what Jarvis is trying to explain is, the knowledge is accessible. We live in a world of knowledge. We live in a world of information. It's accessible to anyone who's of any age now. It's not like Wall Street anymore where you think, all them numbers and all them tricky things. No, there's people actually making thousands, even some millions, and they're just normal people who just left college and know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And the knowledge that is now needed, how can I explain it? What I was trying to say earlier on. How I study is not education school. It's not curriculum. It's literally studying people, studying trends, watching YouTube videos, being in forums. That's what I call studying. And I had a conversation the other day, which I found it very, very funny. It's very simple, but I understood it that the person didn't understand because they just didn't know. When I was explaining to them why I want to take some of my savings, so I want to take some of my savings out and I want to put it into either coins. When I say coins, I just mean Ethereum, and that's me being bluntly open, so I'm giving you some knowledge and heads up right now. I want to put my savings into Ethereum. No, that's what it mainly was. I want to put my savings into Ethereum. And then she was saying, yeah, but it's a bit risky, babe. And I'm saying, Ross, how come you see it being risky, me putting my money into Ethereum, but you don't see it risky, me putting my money into a bank? And she couldn't answer, obviously, but then we went into what a bank actually is. So the first question I asked was, do you know how much reserve money the bank keeps in the bank out of your money? Like if you put £100,000 into a bank, do you know how much money they keep in the bank? 30%. So really, or 3% is it? 3 or 30%? I remember it's a 3.
You get lent out.
Yeah, the rest of it, they use and they invest it. So they're investing your money, what they told you to save. Really, they're telling you, let's reword the words. You should save your money. You should give us your money so we can invest it. That's what saving is to them. Do you get it? So for one, you put your money in, they invest it, you get savings. Out of their investment, they should give you interest. They usually give you maximum, say, 5% interest or 2% interest. Right now, I believe, if I'm correct, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe there's no % interest in banks right now. Yeah. So you put your money in there, leave it for 1 year, you get nothing, just your money back. Now, I was just about to say, without disclosing too much, but, I don't really care. I put a couple of quid into Ethereum a couple months back. And a couple months later, I've earned a couple of quid, meaning a couple of thousand. If I put money in a bank over 5 years, you can't earn 1,000. So why have we been tricked into putting our money in banks. Now, I'm not saying to everyone, take my advice and do the risk that I'm going to do, because it is still risky, because certain things are still new on the market. Blockchain's new on the market. Where I've studied. If you haven't studied, then please take your time and only use the money that you can afford to lose. Very important. But study little things. Like I said, knowing how a bank runs. Why would you put your money in the bank? You know, there's other things you can put your money into, even with stocks and shares. When I was speaking to a girl the other day, she was saying, yeah, it's a bit mad though, because I'm not sure what to invest in. Now, I said to her, well, do you think I know about stocks and shares? Or do you think I studied? Or do you think I understand how life works? I said, I use an iPhone, and I got iMac, and I got iPad, and I got Apple iPhone, and hold on, I'm investing in Apple. I got Nike trainers, I got Nike socks, I got Nike, I'm investing in Nike. I've been on Facebook for over 10 years. I don't think it's going nowhere. I'm investing in Facebook. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I know common sense ain't common, but I've studied myself. I've studied people, humans. What do you do? What do you like? You know, everyone's going into the health, not everyone, but a lot of people talking about this health. A lot of people talking about veganism.
Yeah.
Watch the trends and get involved.
Okay, so veganism, big topic. Look, when it comes to financial stuff, I know even in the past I've always been a bit more quiet on this topic, purely because everyone has their own risk limitations and ability to invest, so I'm always very hesitant. But on the veganism, for example, so I'm going to share a nugget of information.
Yes, please.
There are platforms out there. One of them's Crowdcube, another one is Seedrs, Seedrs, and there are companies which are pre-qualified, which are new startups which get investment funding.
Yeah.
So my thing right now is I'm not going to disclose my personal stuff, but I invest in different businesses, right? And I look at new and upcoming businesses. So there are some which are around computer chips, like the latest, fastest, greatest, and eco-friendly, whatever. Then I looked at, because my app's in the food space, I'm like, well, I should know a bit about the food space.
About the food space, yeah.
So biofoods, artificially made burgers, for example, which are healthier for you and all this sort of different stuff. Whether they are or not, I'm not a health expert, so I don't know. Veganism is naturally quite a large topic, an important area for many in the space, whether that's people becoming more environmentally friendly, health conscious, you name it, it is a demand for it. And the point is, trends show that in the next 5 years, there are a lot more people who are going full vegetarian or vegan. So therefore, there are companies that are going to be needed in this space, whether that's home delivery or supermarkets, whatever. So on these platforms I've mentioned, you can check who are innovating in that space. And also, remember, there are venture capitalists who don't want to miss money. So they are investing. Yeah, VCs are huge, right? So these are companies which have ample money. So there's VCs,
angel investors,
family offices where people have wealth in their family and they're looking to sustain their growth. So for example, Saudi Arabia is worried about oil becoming not as important as it is now because of green technology. So they're now diversifying. They're making Saudi Arabia more open as a cultural destination. And their family offices are now investing into property and all sorts of ventures. So let's just call them investors. On these platforms, you can see how much money is being invested into new startup businesses. And you can also invest, like whether it's 20, 30 pounds, which you forget about.
That's what I'm telling you when everyone keeps telling me I don't have BR money. I'm saying, rah, you can't put £30 into something and watch it go to 100.
Yeah, exactly.
And then put that 100 into something else and watch it go to 170, 160. And I'm not saying you must have thousands of pounds.
And you might lose it, you might make more. But if you diversify your portfolio and actually make a sort of calculated guess or whatever you want to call it, calculated risk, calculated guess, whatever you want to call it, like do your research, but look at the trends. And if you find that, hey, veganism is going up and you found a company which is already profitable, it's got a supply and demand equation set up properly, it's got an infrastructure, and all it needs is money to ramp up its offering, then that's a no-brainer for me. Like, get on it, invest some money, whether it's £30 or £100, whatever you can afford, and forget about it. For 10 years, forget about it. Like, if you invested £30 in Amazon when it first came out and launched and it was in the startup phase, it would probably be millions now.
I'll be totally honest, bruv.
Like,
Amazon's one of the only stocks I've actually said I'm upset about.
Yeah.
Being honest. Just before lockdown, I was going to invest in it, before I invested in Apple, And I never forget, the shares was £946 or something. Yeah. And I was thinking, oh, man, every other share I'm investing in is like 200 and 300, you know what I mean? My price range, like I said, you don't have to have thousands. I saw the 900 and something, I was thinking, man, I don't want to spend £1,000 on one share, you get me? I'm just going to wait, man, hopefully it drop, you get me? Did lockdown lick, I'll be honest, halfway through lockdown it went to £3,000 odd pound.
It is 3,000.
Bro, it's still 3,000 odd. Yeah, bro, it went to 2.6 and I panicked. I thought, I missed. And then I thought, let me just watch. And then I've still watched and it's gone up more. And I figured, you know what, Amazon, I missed out. I've missed out.
And that's fine to accept, right? I think it's taking that lesson from that,
Yes.
which I take it as, and applying it to something else. So
That's
Amazon
what I've done now with
was a huge one.
NFTs.
Yeah, there you go, right? And I think look at the percentage returns. I think it's quite, we can look at the news and be like, oh, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, the tech, all the tech stocks, Facebook, which owns Instagram and WhatsApp, these are multi-billion-dollar businesses. Now, naturally, the entry starting point is quite significant, whether it's a couple of $100 or whether it's a few $1,000s. But it's quite a significant investment. But the main thing you're looking at is a percentage return. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
There might be startups which offer a higher percentage return. So it doesn't necessarily, for me, it doesn't necessarily matter about the brand. It's what's the percentage return you're
I
getting.
just learned that on coins.
Okay.
Yeah, I just learned it in coins. As in, okay, so as I said, I put a couple of quid in Ethereum. But I know somebody's put a couple of pence in another coin. But no, I lied. The coin costs a couple of pence. But they've put a couple of hundred on it.
Yeah.
And just the length of it going up from, I don't know, say it was 11p and he put £200. The 11p is now, the coin is now worth £1.60. Just do the sum between 11p and £1.60 and then do the sum of he put £200 down. Bruv, his turnover was crazy. But remember, he only spent £200 on buying something that was pennies.
Yeah.
And it didn't go up to £20 or £3,000. It went up to £1.60. It's just the rate in between.
It's the margin.
It's
Absolutely.
the margin.
And when you start looking at it from that point of view, I'd invest in paper. If paper had a greater return, for example, than a cryptocurrency, what do I care if it's a crypto or
do you
not?
think I care what I invest in?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm an investor,
Exactly.
bro. I'll be open.
And that's how investors look at it. Like they look at what is there, not necessarily for what it is, but the demand for it. Again, it could be something like a paperclip. If there's demand for that in the next 5 years, go all in and pull your money out in 5 years.
And I like the way you keep saying 5 years because obviously that's that's the kind of turnaround time and stuff. But what I want to elaborate when you say 5 years is that does people understand that the situation you're in now, what you're living in now, is because of the decisions you made the last 5 years? So if you put that into perspective, what decisions are you making now to change your next 5 years? Because I think that's what's important. Do you know what I mean? It's about, I always look at, so that's what I said, I got foresight, I got vision. I like to see what can I do now to make my life easier in the future, to make my children's life better in the future. All the work I need to do now. So I do a lot of studying now, a lot of investment now, a lot of risk taking now, so that, I'll be honest, in the next 5 years, Jav, I'm really slow. Like, not stopping, as you heard from the last podcast. Me now start more business, yeah? But I'm slowing down in investing. I'm slowing down in starting up new businesses. Lots of my businesses should be thriving by then, etc. But right now, I'm taking the risk because the opportunities, I often describe it like this, and I've said this on Instagram, I've said this on a lot of my platforms. I said it 2 years ago. I said, the next 5 to 6 years will shape the next 30 years of your life. So make sure you know what you're doing in those years. So I'm 2 years in since I've said that. And I've made some serious decisions in these last 2 years. I've made some serious investments. I made some serious changes and some serious commitments. So I now know if I can carry on a couple more investments, a couple more growth, a couple more trying to become the best version of myself in the next 4 years, I know my next 30 years, yo, dog, I'm talking pina coladas on the beach, just checking on my things. You get me? Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Yeah, I think it's also not looking and dwelling at what you've missed out so far, but saying, okay, cool, I've missed out on those things.
Yeah.
What can I now do?
What
for
can
the
I jump
future?
on? Yeah.
And if it means selecting a company, which company is scalable, has a loyal customer base, has increasing demand for their products, and has a vision to take their company 5x, 10x, whatever x to the next level, and get behind it. Understand. So one of the things at degree level I did, and you don't need a degree for this. You can do it. Just go and read it on Google, right? But accounting, looking at company profit and loss statements. Are they in profit margin? What's their biggest expenses? Amazon, for example, when I was working at Amazon in 2011, 2012, shares were $300.
Oh,
okay.
Oof.
And their strategy, so they had a very interesting
10x,
strategy. And people would say to me like, oh, why are you Amazon? I'm like, look, and I used to say to them myself, I said, look, don't look at Amazon now. Right now, their biggest outgoings is infrastructure. So they're building infrastructure for their offices. They're building infrastructure for their cloud platform. So building out AWS, Amazon Web Services. But I said, once that's all live, that's just the first 5 years. The following 5 years is when you're going to see their profit and loss
So that's
go
what
up.
I'm trying to do now, brother.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 10 years, by the way, you know what I mean? But Mulacate right now, for the last 2 years, I'm on this structure thing.
Yeah.
I've been taking losses. I've been not investing a lot in Mulacake. Well, I've been not investing a lot in products and stuff. I've been investing a lot in staffing, structures, systems, stuff like that, because it's exactly that.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to get my structure so correct that in the next, I'll start profiting.
And that's the companies to look out for. Because, so I'd say look out for Mulacake, right?
Yeah,
Put out
look
investment.
out!
Because at that point, the way company valuation works is based on, very simply put, income versus outgoings, right?
Yeah.
Now, if a company has got scalability in its favor, like it's got the potential to ramp up, but its outgoings are based on infrastructure costs in the initial point of buying buildings and racks for servers, whatever, is an initial cost. Once that starts selling, then that cost is taken care of, and its
gone
profitability
over the
margin
years, yeah.
goes up.
Yeah.
So when the profitability margin goes up, that's when investment starts rising. So when you look at it from that perspective, and I know it's a bit more than just a standard, hey, could this go up or down? It's like this is what I mean about doing the research.
Doing your research, doing your due diligence, bro. You want things too easy. Nah, bruv. You can't just type it in Google and get the answer. You need to read a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Read comments, go into surveys, go into groups, get involved, get your knowledge up.
As Dexter said. And with Amazon, so go back to the Amazon example, I said to people, look, don't look at the price now. It's 300 now. I said, it will raise in 5 years. Now, what I should have done was taken my own advice.
Why didn't you?
What I should have done is taken my own advice
Yeah.
and put everything I had into Amazon and forgotten about it.
If you
Forget
believe
the cars.
in it, yeah.
But I knew, and the thing is, sometimes I feel like we should take our own advice, right? And I do that a lot. Where I'm like, this makes common sense, but application is more important than just knowing about it. And I put my hands up as well and say, hey, look, I've not been great at it.
That's what they say.
That's my lesson.
That's what they say. Knowledge is power. Only after it's implemented.
Absolutely.
Now, let's get it right. Knowledge is power. Only after it's implemented. It's not worth having all the knowledge. It's like having a dictionary in your head and you don't know how to use the words. It don't make no sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think trust your gut instincts and take a leap of faith. And,
Yeah.
no risk, no return.
No risk, no return. Bigger the risk, bigger the return. You know what I mean? And even staying on the subject of not options, not availability, opportunity. There's so much opportunities because of the innovative way people are creating stuff. People are creating stuff to help people create stuff. The subscription services that I'm signed up to is outrageous.
Yeah.
But I need these things all of a sudden. These times they didn't exist a couple of years ago, but all of a sudden I need all these subscription services because it makes my life easier. It makes my business run better. It makes it run smoother. It makes it run more systemized. So when I'm saying about the opportunities that are out there for people to start their own businesses, and when I say this, I need it to be clear. You don't have to start a multi-million-pound business, like I said earlier on. I'm talking about a side hustle. I'm talking about extra income. This is what people need. They need to understand you just need an extra couple quid. And I don't mean thousands, by the way, when I said quid that time, but I mean you just need an extra couple £100 a month. Think about it. You earn £1,000 a month. That's fine. But every end of the month, by the end of in the last week, in the last 5 days, you've always only got 20 quid, or you've always owed someone 50 quid. If you can make an extra 200 quid, £200, you'll be in a better position, won't you? So there's so many tiny ways that you can make an extra £100 with just downloading a app and learning that app. Let's think of more streams of income. Let's think. There's apps out there now, Fat Llama being one of them, that you can hire out your stuff in your house. So I run a program called Assets and Incomes, and this is exactly all I teach on it, how to have multiple streams of income. Yeah? So let's look out for that, Assets and Incomes. It's how to have multiple streams of income because I have 8 streams of income, but I want to have 15 streams of income. Now, I don't mind if they're £100 a time. Just think about it. If there's £100 a time, that's £1,500 a month. Just £100 a time. But I know some of them are £1,000. Some of them are £400. Some of them are £20. Some of them are £5. But as long as I've got money coming in different ways, I feel comfortable because I spend money in so many different ways. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you take Fat Llama, for instance, you can hire out your Hoover. You don't use your Hoover more than once a day. So you can hire out your Hoover. It might be £5, even though this sounds a little bit weird. But you might have a projector sitting there. You might have a ring light sitting in your house. You might have microphones sitting in your house. You can hire out your equipment. Okay, a lot of people have a car and they go to work. Their car sits at home all day. There's apps that you can hire out your car. It does it for you. You can hire out your car. Okay, there's apps that you can hire out your driveway. You don't have a car. You have a driveway. It got given to you for free. You stay in your house. You make people park there and you earn money. You don't. I can name about 40 things, 40 different ways I can tell you about making money, and that is just a couple of them. You know, whether they're stocks and shares, whether they're hiring out your stuff, like even an audio book. An audio book's intellectual property, but people say I don't know how to write a book. There's apps like I think it's Dragon or something like that where you speak and it writes it for you. You just speak and it writes out the book. Then you put the book on online. Then you sell the book, none of that costs money.
I better go do that now.
You know what I mean? Nothing costs money. There's so much innovative ways that you can make that extra couple £100 a month. And this is what I want to push out there. I am not trying to say everyone turn entrepreneurs, because right now I have a problem finding staff. Because everyone wants to be an entrepreneur and a boss.
You've trained them all up to not do 9 to 5.
I've trained them all up to not like 9 to 5. Listen, I need some staff, all right? So I'm not saying everyone become a business owner, everyone become a boss, everyone become you know what I mean? I am saying there is multiple ways to earn an extra couple £100 a month and have multiple streams of income. There's no excuse in the day and age we live in.
Yeah, and it all adds up. It all adds up.
All
London's
adds up.
an expensive place. The world is an expensive place. And it helps, you know. So yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think outside the box. People are used. Well, I hate to generalize, but generally we as people are used to a certain. You know, you go to work, get your money, that's it, and then just look at that as that's it. That's what I'm going to get. What is my salary? That's it. But there are so many creative ways you can earn money legitimately. That just think a bit different. For example, I've got car polishing equipment. I can't polish my car every day. I've got a whole machine to do everything, to detail it.
Yeah.
I can start hiring that out. I've not done it.
Hiring it out
but I can start
as
hiring
a
it out.
service, or you do it yourself, or put on an intern, a young buck who make them have their own business doing it. There's just ways. There's just ways. And I think for us, being at the level we're at, in the businesses, the companies that we're working in, whatever, we don't do extras or we don't do more, not because of risk. It's because of time. You know, time is everything to me. I'm a time freak. And on top of being a time freak, I know we only get the same time every day and it goes. It's just gone. Like, if today's gone, it's gone. You cannot get it back. I can get back money. I throw it away. I throw it over the balcony. Ain't got none on me now, but I'll throw it over the balcony. You know
Throwing
what I mean?
it away too much.
Yeah, we're throwing it away too much. But I don't care about money because it can come back. But you see, this time, I can't get it back. So don't waste my time. Don't waste my time.
And it's opportunity cost. So what could you do with your time? You could spend half an hour there or half an hour there. How would you spend it? And
Don't say it lightly.
Huh?
Don't say it lightly. What do you do with your time?
Yeah.
What do you do with your time? We got a bit of time. Okay, you go to work 9 to 5. That's 8 hours. Go, you sleep 8 hours. That's 16 hours. How much more hours is that? Come on, Jav. 8 more hours. What's going on in those 8 hours? What do you do? Because you're going to tell me about Love Island. You're going to tell me about I walked to the shop. You're going to tell me about I was on Facebook. What was you doing for 8 hours? Honestly, there's 24 hours in a day. What do you do with your time? Don't give them a break, Jav. Don't give them a break.
Dexter's clearly the harder one, and you guys.
I'm serious. He's on this. Listen, I'm on the excuses thing. Yeah, we all got the same 24 hours. The position I'm in now, yes, I take a lot of risks. Yes, I'm scary. Yes, I'm loud. Yes, I come from a crazy cultural background that made me kind of thick-skinned and strong. But what is, what the seriousness about is, we all got same 24 hours. And I make sure in every hour, in every minute, I'm doing something that's progressing towards my future. That's it.
I'm going to just share some perspective on there.
Please.
I also think it's important to take time out to reflect,
Why
relax,
is it kind of against me?
grow.
I'm joking.
I do think it's important to take time out for yourself. So, for example, my thing is walking in the parks.
Yeah.
You know, I think I messaged you that day when we were working on something. I said, look, today, family time. I'm family, family, kids growing up, depending if you have children or not. There's some moments which won't come back. And I think for me, it's enjoying those precious moments so you don't have regrets. So I think we're using the time that you do have.
Serious.
the time you do have, use that smartly so you don't have regrets later. Of
Yeah.
course, invest. Of course, do your research. Don't jump into things where you've got to do your research after and think, how did I get into that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's better to lose time. Well, it's not even losing time, it's investing time.
Investing time.
ahead first, and then take your time to live. We're humans at the end of the day. We're like a complicated plant, someone said.
Yeah.
Like we need light, water, we need nurturing,
It's true.
soil, we
Looking
need
after.
food.
Yeah, it's true.
We're just a complicated plant with emotions.
Yeah.
So we need those natural things. So take that time to rest, relax, put your mind at ease. And then, of course, depending on, again, and to Dexter's point, I don't think some of this is for everyone.
No.
If you're someone who gets easily stressed, you know what?
Yeah.
Chill out, enjoy
Don't
your
look
life.
for extra income. Don't look
Yeah.
for extra loopholes. You'll get stressed. It's
Exactly,
true.
because with everything comes responsibility, and I completely understand. It's not everyone's cup of tea. If you're comfortable doing a standard sort of job and that you're happy with that and that pays for your bills and you're happy living life like that and that's how you, good luck to you. We only want the best for our viewers and
Right.
whatever you do. This is just additional advice that if you do want to look at it from a different perspective, and if we're, I guess, trying to open eyes to a different world
Yeah.
out there, that's all we're trying to do. If you want to take it on, great. If you don't, we wish you the best. So
Yeah, please don't hold me to it. I'm gonna go with what Jarvis saying. Don't hold me to it. Don't listen to.
He's
half
gonna
the
make
things
you
I've
work
just
all the
said.
time.
Yeah, don't listen to half the things I said. Listen what I'm telling you now. I work hard. I work constant. I love it. I love business because I think from the second I realised entrepreneur was something. You know what I mean? As in, I've been entrepreneur for nearly 20 years now, and people used to say, "Oh, you mean you're unemployed?" And I feel like, "Rah, you're disrespecting me because I make money all the time and I'm working towards making a business. And now I made my business work for me. Now I'm taking 4 to 6 weeks off. Taking 4 to 6 weeks off, innit? I'm gonna see my kids. Not like I don't see them. I'm gonna spend lots more time with them, picking them up from schools, parks, go seaside. I'm gonna spend some time in the gym. I'm gonna look after my health a little bit more. But I can now do that because I've sacrificed, sleepless nights. I've sacrificed not having money. I've sacrificed having a fat belly. I've sacrificed having these grey hairs. But now, God willing, I'm about to live a little and rest and easy a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think rewarding yourself is so important. Like, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, but from a young age, I've always rewarded myself on the car front. So I'd work towards it. So it came down to exams. Like, if I pass these exams, I'm going to treat myself to alloy wheels.
I'm bad at that.
And I went and got that. And I think treating yourself is very important. Setting goals and rewarding yourself, for me, is an important thing.
I'm going to steal it right now.
Honestly, do it. Another thing was, right, if I pass these other exams, I'm going to get myself a sound system with these speakers. And I've done it. So all my cars, but my cars were never, I'd never just go and spend on it because I don't feel like I deserved it.
Drug dealer cars.
Yeah, those crazy looking cars, which all legitimately worked for. Just had a certain looking influence on it.
Yeah.
But
Stereotype.
yeah. So I'd never do things in one go because I didn't feel like, why should I waste money on it? I've not worked for it. I'm going to work for it and set myself goals. And then when I've hit that goal, I'm going to do it. And actually, I set myself stretch goals. So, for example, and again, this is when I was a lot younger, and I'll go back to the Microsoft thing as an intern. Like I said to myself, if I secure a good placement, I'm going to get a coupe BMW at the time, right? But I said, hey, if I get Microsoft, I'm going to get a convertible BM. And when I got the job...
That's a good mind drive, though.
Yeah.
That's a good mind drive.
And then I did everything. People were applying to 50, 60 companies. I applied to 2. I applied for my internship. I applied to 2. I applied to VW because they were giving company cars. And I applied to Microsoft because it's a company that it was.
Didn't you work for IBM?
And that was before. That was school with work experience, yeah.
With work experience, yeah.
Yeah, I did that
I
as well.
remember saying that because I remember at the time I had an IBM.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was one of the first kids to
yeah.
have an IBM, bruv. It's under my stairs for Christmas. I come from them drug dealer background there. You get me? And I had an IBM, yeah? PC. When people didn't even know what a PC was. All my friends, when you're all at the screen. What should we press? Should we press this button? Yeah, and let me show you how it was. It's serious. I know I cut him. I don't care. I cut him.
You cut me.
Yeah? I had an IBM PC. The only thing we could do on it was look after a cat.
A cat.
It's some cat, like pets. That's the only thing we knew how to do. And paint. There's a thing called paint. It's the only 2 things we knew how to do. We didn't know how to type. Serious.
Brilliant. Yeah, so on that front, just, rewarding yourself. So yeah, I got that position, I treated myself to a convertible. And it felt really good because what that drove me to do, and everyone works differently, this works for me. When I set myself goals, I am driven because I'm like, hey, if I do this, and I'm going to get this, and you know what, I'm not going to focus on half-heartedly on 10 different things. I'm going to focus on this and give it my all. And then it just changes mindset. And then when I get it, it's like, I was a 21, 22-year-old with a convertible BM, which I'd worked for. Yeah. It wasn't borrowed money or parents' money.
I was a 21-year-old drug dealer with a Rolex chain and an XR2i. Remember I told you. Sorry.
I did it. Mine was pretty legit.
Yeah, we're totally different.
The point is, reward yourself. So yeah, I'd say take time to relax. Do reward yourself. Personal growth comes from those quiet moments when you sit and reflect. When you're constant to go, there is a risk of burnout. So it's that self-development time where, what should I stop, continue doing? What's working well for me? What isn't? And there's two other things. This is a really important one. What adds to your energy? And what's an energy vampire? And I'm going to elaborate on this. Energy vampires are people who can walk into the room and make everyone miserable. Because it's like the world's this and the world's that and make you feel like, God, what is this world? That's energy vampires. Those are the people you're going to stay away from. And I'm not here to preach that, but personally, this works for me.
The downers.
Yeah. But then there's those who kind of add to your energy, the sort of confidence boosting, the ones who look for the opportunities when there's things going on in the world, the ones who talk about good things and ideas. They say, personally, I don't like spending time with people who gossip a lot because I think that's a waste of energy.
Just chatting about people all the time. Chatty patty.
Yeah, those types,
chatty
right?
Patty.
I'm not interested in what's going on in someone's personal relationships. Like, if you do that to someone else, you could chat about me. That's not the sort of people I'd want to spend time with. And no disrespect to the gossipers, but do your own thing.
I'm disrespecting the gossipers. Loud of chatty patty thing. Yeah? We're not social media. We're humans.
Absolutely, and respectful for others. And I find that there are quite separate crowds in terms of energy. Those who are high energy would talk about ideas and progressing things and how to give back to the world. That's my sort of company, and that's where I feel in my element, where I'm like, yeah, I feel good in this company. We're talking about good things. We're talking about business ideas, and I'd rather use my time that way than chatting about what's going on in someone else's life. Like, I'm not that much interested in anyone else's life.
Interested.
Good for you.
I'm not saying it being rude. I'm just not interested in your life. No.
I'm interested in people's well-being, of course, but people chat about others.
Yeah.
But again, it comes back to energy vampires and those who add to your energy. So I think that's an important decision to make and think about. So again, no disrespect to anyone, but that's just my personal thoughts. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, you be you and do you.
And before we finish up, we just want to make sure everyone's very understandable that everyone's an individual. And as much as I have my points, as you can see, Javid has his points. As you have your beliefs, I have my beliefs. He's taken his path, I've taken my path. We're both successful in our own ways. But I want to quickly touch on the word successful, just because I wanted to elaborate on it, because I had an explanation when I explained it to my dad the other day. As you can hear, I speak to my dad quite often. I was explaining to him what his success looks like. Because sometimes he gets down and doesn't understand maybe why he's not even where he wants to be, because he doesn't know how big he wants to be no more. He just wants to be happy, look after his grandkids, make sure I'm okay, etc., etc. But I try and explain to him that he still has successful moments in his life. You just don't see them as success. So I say, this is how I measure success. And this is a message from everyone. This is a message to everyone, should I say. What's the aim? What's the process? And what's the reward? So, the reward is success. The process is how you're going to get to the success. And the aim is what you're aiming to do. So I said to my dad, you might not achieve great, big, massive things and feel like you're successful, you started business and rare. But let's take, for instance, you just started a new job. What was your aim? You wanted a new job. What was your process? I went out to X, I proper tried, I know you did that. That's what I'm asking you. What did you do? Yeah, I've tried, I've done this and I've done that. I had to go up and I had to do things. So you've done the process. And what's your reward? I got the job. You're successful. And you see, from when I analyze things like that, we are successful on loads of occasions, but we overlook them because society doesn't highlight them as successes. And that's what I want people to start realizing and understanding. Your successes look a lot different to everybody else's successes. Start measuring what your successes are. The first time I realized I was successful, when I realized I've proper left the road, and I mean completely. I don't even take road phone calls no more. And that's been many years now. I felt successful. But then I also felt very successful when I realized everything I do in life, meaning holidays, school uniforms, school lunch, shopping in my house, pay for Sky, whatever, is off the back of my independent business that I created myself. Wow, I don't need £1 million. I'm already successful. I made it long time from where I come from. and I'm able to do that. Yeah, I made it long time. And that's why I've always felt successful. So I've never felt that money can, what do you call it, measure my success. I never thought that material things can measure my success because I've had 25 cars. I've had different valuable things. It didn't really measure success to me. My success is freedom. My success is me right now saying, I'm going to take a month off. Like a month off. How are you going to do that? Because I've been working for 10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel very successful. I want to make sure that's out there to the public. Your success is completely different to another person's success. So don't be so harsh on yourself when you don't feel as successful as other people may look.
And also to be grateful for what you do have, because there was a time where you wanted what you do have now, and I think it's quite easy to start looking at the next thing, But appreciate what you've got already, and I think gratitude, I know I've mentioned it previously, but sorry, you can hear the London anthem in the background of the police sirens, but gratitude is such an important thing, just to value what you have already before thinking about the next thing. Like, you wanted that certain thing or that job or that car, and you worked towards it and you bought it and you got it. And be grateful for those things before thinking about the next. I think that's an important point for me, which is just to be grateful, and not to compare yourself with others. Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone has their moment to shine. Everyone's on a different path. Everyone's got different things or networks. Like, everyone's time to shine will come, but just be clear in your mind of what it is you want and do every damn thing to go and achieve it. That's what I'll say.
You heard it right there.
So today you heard us talking a lot about working hard, but it's also important to play hard. So whatever you're doing, make sure you're rewarding yourselves, taking time to chill out, reflect, go for a walk, go to the parks, hire a rowing boat, whatever you enjoy, and just take time out. We're humans. We're a complicated plant. Enjoy yourself.
So yeah, to finish up, you know what we do every week. Very important. And I'm not going to say it again. Please make sure you're either obtaining these books. So it doesn't mean you got to buy them. You can borrow them. You can nick them off your mate. You know what I mean? Make sure you return it. But make sure you're getting these books, because the knowledge is power only if it's implemented. Yeah? So, book recommendation, Jav. What you been reading lately, or what you got there? What's there?
So it's called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. So it's a fable about following your dream. He's got a few in this series, but it's just an example of someone who followed his dreams, went through various deserts to achieve what he wanted. And it's quite an interesting looking book. If I'm honest, I've not read it yet. It came highly recommended, so it's here in front of me.
That's so funny. My book I read this is it not non-read the book week? I got a book recommendation.
It's the Hope to Book Read
book. It's the Hope to Book Read book. Yeah, I got one, and I didn't even, I didn't bring it. I said I was going to bring it, but I promise you I'll bring it next time, yeah? This time I've got a picture of it. Why? Because remember they said the circles that you're in, we're not chatty-patty people. One of my people in my circle recommended this book, and then I saw it as one of the top 10 entrepreneurial books to read.
Amazing.
I thought, oh yeah, man, he gave me a good recommendation.
Yeah.
So that book is called 0 to 1, and it's by Peter Thiel. Yeah, it says with Blake Masters. Yeah, but it's about notes on startups or how to build your future.
Nice.
And I think it seems interesting, but I said more importantly, the recommendation where it came from, my power circle, and then topping it up with a nice thing, showing it being one of the top influential books for entrepreneurs. 0 to 1. I recommend it.
Nice.
Definitely.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So, please do like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, tell your friend to tell a friend, talk about the thing, get yourself a suit, get yourself a tracksuit, and tune in next week. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Take care.
Take care. See ya.